Hi again, everyone, and welcome to the latest edition of Sports Bash presented by TicketBash.com. I'm Peter Schwartz, joined as always by Vinny Tickets, and our new episodes drop every Friday on our YouTube channel. So you want to go to YouTube and subscribe to Sports Bash Radio, and you can catch old episodes there as well as the latest episode. And also our show is heard on LI News Radio 103.9 FM every Saturday morning from 8:30 to 9 o'clock. Hello, Vinny. How are you?
Doing great. How you doing?
We're doing great, and we've got a great show again for everybody. A little bit later on in the program, we're going to talk to former Jets tight end Anthony Becht. He's currently part of the Jets radio team as an analyst. He is also the head coach of the St. Louis Battlehawks of the XFL, and there's a lot of news around spring football with the XFL and the USFL set to merge into one spring league. So we're going to talk to Anthony about the Jets as well as what it's like to be a head coach in the spring league and everything that's going on, and working for The Rock and his ex-wife. They're running that league, so we'll talk to him a little bit about that. But first up, we're going to have our ticket giveaway. And I know it's the holiday season. You don't want to make people upset or, be the Grinch, but we do have Jets tickets to give away this week on the show. And listen, it's December 24th. It's against Washington. It would be a festive way to spend the day before Christmas going out to MetLife Stadium and going to see the Jets play.
Absolutely. And remember, it's not easy being green.
That's right. A famous philosopher, Kermit the Frog, once said that. So we are giving away Jets versus Washington tickets.
Yes, we have 2 tickets in the lower level for December 24th. That is the Jets on December 24th. We will pick one winner. All you have to do is text your name and the word Sports Bash to 631-250-6888. That's 631-250-6888 to get a pair of lower level tickets Christmas Eve. Who knows? Maybe you'll have your 7-fish dinner there at the stadium.
and listen, you never know. I mean, he said it had to do with how the Jets were doing, if they were in playoff contention, but Aaron Rodgers keeps hinting about that. That's the target date, that he wants to prove the world wrong and do something that's never been done before, and that is play off of an Achilles injury that he suffered 4 plays into the first game. No one's ever come back the same season. He thinks he can do it.
So do you think that even makes sense to come back?
At this point, no, it doesn't.
Right. If they're out, why risk injury by coming back early? If you potentially, you have more time on your contract, I'm not really sure that makes sense to come back.
And I'd be very disappointed because ever since Aaron Rodgers got here, he has been completely the opposite of everything we heard about his ending in Green Bay. He was selfish. He was this. He was a strange person. And listen, it's everybody's choice. But what he did during COVID rubbed people the wrong way. But since he came to the Jets, up until the point where he got hurt, he's done everything right. He was here throughout OTAs, and he never went to OTAs with the Green Bay Packers, especially in his later years with them. And he was out about town. He embraced being a Jet. He tutored the players on the team. He helped try to change the culture with the franchise. But to me, and again, I understand there's something, ego-wise when you want to try and do something that nobody has ever done before. But to me, if he comes back and the Jets are eliminated, to me, it comes off being a little bit selfish on his part. I would say, Aaron, keep getting better. We'll see you during off-season workouts.
Yeah, we'll see you in September. Let's go for it next year.
And roll it back next year. And listen, this is Jet history. Things don't go the way sometimes they're supposed to go. So roll it back next year, improve the team during the offseason, get that offensive line strengthened, and we'll see you in August for July and August for training camp. But we do hope whoever wins the tickets for the Jets-Washington game December 24th has a good time, and the weather is good, and you'll have a good time sitting in the lower bowl at MetLife Stadium. Some ticket topics to talk about before we bring in Whiz Kid Vinny with his weekly segment. I couldn't wait to talk to you about this. I heard this the other day, and I couldn't wait because you have been very, very high on the Sphere in Las Vegas. In fact, you're involved in a little giveaway that you may want to tell people about. Isn't there a YouTube giveaway that you're working on?
Well, the giveaway has already taken place. That was on a radio station, did a big giveaway, but there are still packages available.
Okay.
And believe it or not, we actually are able to get you to the Sphere. So it's airfare, tickets to the show, 3 nights in Las Vegas, your round trip airfare, your hotel, and your tickets to the show. Makes a great holiday idea. It's only $1,500 per person, and that's for everything.
And considering how difficult it is to get tickets for the shows there, that seems like a really, really good deal. And you have everything taken care of. You don't have to worry about making 8,000 phone calls and going online to this place, that place. It's all taken care of.
Correct. And you could go to ticketbash.com, or you could always call our office, 631-465-0979.
Now, going to see you two at the Sphere has, from what I have read and seen online, has been an amazing experience. But here's something that I found out a couple of days ago that was announced by the NHL. The NHL draft is going to be at the Sphere June 28th and 29th. Now, you know how much I love hockey. I'm a huge Islanders fan, and I've been to the NHL draft a couple of times. That is going to be ridiculous. Now, the NHL draft has been in Las Vegas before. They've had it at various different theaters and casinos. But they're going to have the draft at the Sphere, Vinny. I have to be there that week.
All right, we'll take a trip.
Yeah,
you twisted my arm.
Yeah, maybe we'll do the show from there that week.
Oh, that's a great idea.
What about that? We can do, I know you did talk to me about maybe the Super Bowl. I think we got things off the ground here a little bit too late to get to Radio Row, but maybe we can go to the NHL draft. See who the Islanders are going to take, see who the Rangers and Devils are going to take. I think that would be phenomenal.
Yeah, that's a good trip.
I mean, and all the reports on the Sphere have been just ridiculously good. And it's an experience that, look, it's one thing to go see a concert in a small theater. It's one thing to go see a concert at Madison Square Garden. And then it's another thing to go to see a concert in a stadium. But this, to me, it sounds like this is an experience in of itself that you've never experienced before.
Yeah, from everybody that I've sent so far, and we've sent hundreds of clients, people come. We have yet to get the slightest bit of anything negative. It's all positive reviews, and it's really, truly, they described it as a life experience.
I can't wait. I have to go to the NHL draft. I mean, that's incredible. I think the only other thing that would make me more excited about going to the Sphere is if Billy Joel went to the Sphere and did a show.
Not sure I looked at him. They did just announce Fish.
I heard about that. A Fish is going to be there, and U2. It's a residency type thing.
Correct.
For U2 right now too. So maybe we can get Billy now that he's winding down his residency at Madison Square Garden. Maybe we can convince Billy to maybe go do a show in Las Vegas because, like I've said, I've seen him 19 times. I would like number 20 to be at somewhere that I've never seen him before.
It's going to be New Year's. It's going to be New Year's.
I'm still working on that. I'm still working on it.
It's going to come through.
It's going to come through. You think so? You have a feeling.
So.
You have a big smile on your face. People watching on YouTube, look at the smile on my partner's face. He knows something that I don't know already. So maybe it's a holiday bonus or something like that. I just put him on the spot.
He's manifesting it.
But a couple of other big events that are coming up in Ticket World, and I think we touched on this last week. Sebastian Maniscalco is coming to Madison Square Garden September 18th and 19th. And if you have not seen his stand-up perform, he is hysterical, whether he's in a small venue or a big venue, and he's just absolutely huge right now. But he's coming to the Garden. Those are going to be sellouts if they haven't already been sold out on the regular market. But obviously, you can go to ticketbash.com and get your tickets there for either one of those two shows. He's hysterically funny. He really is.
He's fantastic.
And I think that he does too. Is he's one of these comedians, I guess, kind of like Jerry Seinfeld too. But he just is able to take real life situations
and minutia,
right?
Yeah.
Like little, about going to the post office and what happens here. I watched a clip of Sebastian Maniscalco on YouTube the other day, and he was talking about, let's go to the ice cream place. And they're giving out samples. Like if you don't know what flavor you want, like you can get like a sample, right? And the lady in front of him goes, can I have the vanilla? Can I try the vanilla? And he's like, what's going on here? Like, why are you tasting vanilla?
Yeah.
Like, it's coconut or coffee mixed with pistachio or something like that. And she wanted it to, but he's hysterical. And those are going to be two very highly anticipated shows. And the last thing I wanted to talk about, ticket-wise, the Stadium Series is coming up at MetLife Stadium. Huge. All four local teams, the Flyers, the Devils, the Islanders, and the Rangers are all going to be involved on February 17th and the 18th.
Yeah, lots of great value out there, lots of seats available, ticketbash.com. And we will also be having a tailgate party for that as well.
That's going to be great. When we come back, we're going to talk to former Jet tight end Anthony Becht. We're going to have Whiz Kid Vinny is going to have his segment as well. It's all coming up when Sports Bash rolls on right after this. Welcome back to Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com. Peter Schwartz, Vinny Tickets, with you every week. 103.9 FM, LI News Radio, Saturday mornings, 8:30 to 9 o'clock. And also our new episodes drop on YouTube every Friday. In just a moment, we're going to talk to former Jets tight end Anthony Becht. But first, our weekly segment with Whiz Kid Vinny. And we're talking a lot of Jets this week, so you've got a little Jet history note for us.
Yeah, like everyone talks about many Jets legends like Joe Namath and Don Maynard, Joe Klecko, and numerous others. But there's one guy that gets so underlooked, and I think is also underlooked for the Hall of Fame too, and that's former Jet outside linebacker Larry Grantham.
He had a great Super Bowl III.
Oh, he was the focal point of that Jets defense. But there's way more to his story than that. He was a massive superstar at Ole Miss, and throughout his entire career he spent with the Jets, he's the only player in the history of the American Football League, which was the league that the Jets were part of at the time, that was a part of 10 All-Pro teams. 10. Every single season he was an All-Pro.
And he played for the Titans, too. Mm-hmm. So, like, he was an original Titan, and then the Titans moved on to the Jets. And he's a guy, I had a chance to interview him before. A really good guy and a really solid player.
Yeah, like I'd say he's even way more than solid. In fact, if you look at Pro Football Reference's Hall of Fame monitor, he's the highest ranked outside linebacker that's not in the Hall of Fame. And not only is he not in the Hall of Fame, the Jets still haven't retired his number 60 jersey yet, and I think he really should have his number retired. Even though he's no longer with us, I think his family deserves a chance.
And I believe he is in the Jets Ring of Honor. Vinny, thank you very much for your segment this week. We are on the subject of the Jets here on Sports Bash this week, and on the line with us to talk about the Jets and also his life as a head coach in the XFL is former Jets tight end and currently a part of the Jets radio broadcast team. He is Anthony Becht. Anthony, it's Peter and Vinny. How are you, my friend?
Great to be on, man. All is good, man. Happy holidays.
Thanks. Same to you. It was good to see you Black Friday at MetLife Stadium in the Coaches Club and get a chance to say hello and catch up for a couple of minutes. But this has been, Anthony, this is a season that was supposed to have so much promise with Aaron Rodgers coming on board and all the moves that they made. And to see it all go up in smoke 4 plays in opening night and the Jets not being able to get out of their own way at the quarterback position all of this season. Can you kind of put into words what this has been like for you following this team this year?
Yeah, I mean, clearly expectation levels were different. The team is different without Aaron Rodgers. Everything was built around Aaron Rodgers as far as players, scheme, play caller, all of that. So, yeah, it is frustrating. And, I think I think from a fan standpoint, maybe a lot of other people is, how do they function with a very talented Super Bowl caliber defense and still be able to kind of, have success throughout the year? And quite frankly, it's tough. I mean, anytime you're playing your backup quarterback, they didn't necessarily have a backup quarterback because the problem is Zach Wilson was supposed to learn and grow over the next 2 years, where I thought that would benefit him to becoming a more productive player in the league and starter. But to jump right into the role immediately after 4 plays in the first game, none of that stuff really got to be retained by Zach. And unfortunately for Zach, that was the worst case scenario from his development. So, now what was the scenario? I think the big picture, really, the biggest scenario is what was going to be the other option to hold the fort down or at least have some success this year with a quarterback, and who was it going to be other than that? Because, listen, you're not going to get what you want in the growth of Zach. You don't have Aaron Rodgers. You have a good defense. You got weapons. But now you're seeing the depletion of the line. The quarterback depth wasn't built in a sense where who was out. We all know who they tried to trade for. I'm sure they tried to do something, couldn't get it done.
I wanted to see them get Carson Wentz. When Aaron went down, that was my choice.
You said Carson Wentz. He was the best street guy, I'd say, available. Why not, right? Now, what were the circumstances around that? I'm not sure. I would have liked to seen them go all in on somebody other than Zach. Not that Zach couldn't do it, but he wasn't ready for it. And he had some ups and downs this season, but clearly to take the growth where we wanted it to be after 2 years of watching Aaron didn't happen. This is kind of where you're at with some of the other circumstances around where the team is now.
Yeah. Very well said. So what's your opinion? Do you think we may see Aaron in uniform this year?
No, not at all. I don't think he'll play this year. Clearly for him, I love the fact that he's working hard. He's doing all these different things, medically, physically, mentally, to get himself to a point where he can be back faster. But there's no way or no scenario in my mind he actually plays in a game this year. So he's going to have the entire off season and everything to get himself prepared for OTAs and go the route that he needs to go to be back top notch again. So 0% chance to me that he plays this year.
And then, so tomorrow is draft day, let's say. What do we need the most on our team? What's our first round, our second round? Where do you think we need to solidify this team to? We know the defense is stellar, as you said. What are our first two picks? What holes do we need to plug with the draft this year?
I would say quarterback, receiver, and O-line, and not in that order. Again, look, obviously with the circumstances that happened this year, you got to think about, okay, what happens if? So as long as you have a plan for the quarterback situation, all right, is the draft pick high enough where you're in play for a guy that you just can't pass up and he can be the guy that grows? Or are you down in 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 where it's like, you know what, hey, we can load up on, a receiver, top-tier guy, a top-tier playmaker, and then we can figure out the quarterback position with a little more priority around it with another pick, and then potentially go with the lineman in a spot where if you're like 10 on, okay, you can find yourself a very capable starter. Being that it's going to be such a quarterback-heavy draft, I feel like a lot of those big-time linemen are going to fall in place to be where they're going to be. So I don't know what the order is going to be. It's all going to be predicated on what the final draft spot is, which we don't know yet. So the higher it goes, I think the quarterback discussion comes in play because Aaron's the guy. He's not going to be here for more than 3 years, more than likely. How can you have something in place ready to go outside of what you already have? But when you start trickling it down, guys, you might as well load up the team with playmakers around, what you could, make your quarterback better.
We're talking to former Jets tight end Anthony Becht, who's part of the Jets radio broadcast team, and he is also the head coach of the XFL's St. Louis Battlehawks, coming off your first season as the head coach in professional football, and there's a lot of exciting things going on with the merger with the USFL. For you, Anthony, how much fun was it to be a head coach last season, heading into season 2, and how exciting is it knowing what's coming up with spring football with the two leagues merging into one?
Yeah, it's been an incredible opportunity for me. Obviously didn't take it lightly. There's a lot of candidates out there that wanted to, become a head coach. And, I had a vision and I was able to get in front of the right people, sell my vision and ultimately pay the vision off because, we were a very good team. I was very fortunate to land in the top market, really both leagues, in St. Louis. The fan base has been incredible. We had good players, good staff. I put my staff up with any staff in any professional realm. Not just spring league professional sports. And, I think, for me, I loved it. My personality, the way I do things, I can coach tight ends. I can coach other positions, but I love that organizational side. I love that CEO side. I like the leading. I like the in-game decisions that have to be made. We see coaches all the time, not quite clean on, winning and losing games in those moments when those situations come out. At the end of the game, at the half, whatever it may be, those are the things I take a lot of pride in and I want to be great in. And, we're able to find and build something from scratch with a roster that produced 15 guys going into NFL training camps, which led the way.
That's why spring football is so important, Anthony. People poo-poo it a lot, the people that don't watch it and don't understand it. But the fact that you guys have gotten players back to the NFL is huge.
No question. I take a lot of pride in that. And if they don't make it, they can come back. We have their rights. And we can continue to build on it. But, for me, it's really been awesome. I really have taken it, and let's see where it leads. I mean, yeah, of course, long-term goals. I have a vision and plan in mind, but right now I love the concept. I get to watch my kid play ball in the fall, and it really sets up well for my career.
Awesome, Anthony. Thank you so much for joining us. Happy holidays to you, and I'll see you soon.
You got it, guys. Thank you.
Anthony Becht, former Jets tight end and the current head coach of the XFL's St. Louis Battlehawks. For Vinny Tickets, I'm Peter Schwartz. Thanks for listening and watching to this week's edition of Sports Bash presented by TicketBash.com. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.